Hi guys, my name is Andre, aka Mark Renton, and today I just shortly would like to talk about a topic which is, I think, well known. I'm talking about latency to come to the point. And why I would like to talk about is first point, I just realized a few weeks ago, talking to a friend of mine also making music, that he just doesn't seem to have the proper understanding of what latency is or why it is occurring, although he's doing music already for years. And the second thing is, I see a lot of tips and tricks how to avoid latency and how to keep it down and what you can do, and that's all right. And I think I can't put out there another better latency or the best latency video, but I just would like to give you some ideas or hints or notes from my side or some thoughts how I try to avoid it and how to deal with it. With the Digitakt, I want to play a little bit around, and then you will see like how it is behaving and how it is resulting into latency and how I can avoid it. Now, I want to give you another example where it's really not so cool. And this is when you play through your DAW. All right, let me just quickly open my DAW. Let me open my template. And now I show you just the way how I'm usually recording stuff on here if I would like to record my Digitakt. And by the way, the Digitakt is now connected to one of my mixers, and I will play it, I can hear it, but I can also record it. That's the idea of a recording studio, right? I grab a channel. Let's see where it is connected. Aha, it's that mixer. I already have a template, therefore. All right, now what we have, I turned on the volume over, which seems to work. So you see, if I trigger it, also is fine. But the problem here occurs when I increase the buffer size of the sample rate. And now I click just on a very high one. Let me show you what is happening. Do you see that? Not sure if you get this on the video, but so now we have a lot of buffer size, right? High latency. And this is because the Digitakt is being processed through the DAW and being playbacked via software. So what is happening is all the audio and all the data is being transferred via the MIDI to my computer, through the CPU, through the system, to the operating system, you name it, through the DAW, and then it's arriving here, adding the latency. And there's some very good videos out there how you can avoid this or how you can like keep this down. You always want to have a low latency, a low small buffer size so that you can play stuff, but the more and more plugins you load, the lesser it is getting responsive, and really then you have this problem, just what I showed you here. It's not really on the point on the key, but I would like to have this, right? That's the main problem. If you think you want to play stuff through your DAW, you depend on a low buffer size, period. It's just your computer and nothing more. Now you could argue, okay, but I could buy such DSP chips and some universal audio stuff and Pro Tools and so on. Yes, this is again a hardware solution. Now let's try to optimize what we've got. You could say now, okay, I want to avoid this buffer size problem, and therefore let me switch to another synth. And I just have to do some patching. I have to activate the monitoring feature. Let me now try to increase the buffer size just to have a more crazy effect. Not sure if you can really see this, but it really doesn't feel playable. If I decrease the buffer size again, 64 bits usually works on my Mac Pro quite well. If I don't have too many plugins like Ozone and other mastering plugins, that's fine, totally fine. I could accept this. But then again, it's a problem, like the more load you have on a system, the less this really works out. Instead of using the software monitoring through the DAW, you can use maybe the monitoring of your audio interface, right? So let's try this one. So I turn this monitoring off and I use the Focusrite mixer. And by the way, I'm really happy with the Focusrite. It's connected via Thunderbolt. I have low latency. I have 8 inputs, 8 outputs, plus the digital one, so I can connect my mixers. I have everything connected. Let's enable channel 3. Okay, so this is one idea. Instead of doing the routing through the software, you bypass it and do it straight. Here in my case, in my Focusrite Thunderbolt interface. This can also be a solution. You should consider this if you have really, if you're in this option or you're thinking right now of investing in audio interface, think about this. You can do all this routing in the software, right? Now the downside of this is, if you think of Ableton plugins, VSTs and audio units, you add them, right? Then you can't really hear it. So you just can hear the raw signal, but you have to think, is this really a problem? Now you could say, okay, but I want to play with some plugins or effects. Yes, this is a downside. It's not easy to do so, but you could think of a setup like how you could do that. Like, for example, you use the headphone output of your synthesizer, add there some delay, and then you hear with that, but you record the dry signal and add the delay afterwards. Or you just like don't care about this rule, like I always record the dry signal, you just record it with the delay because this is how you play it and it's still fine. Like guitar players, right? They also record it with the effects on the guitar already. They don't record the dry guitar. I've done already a video about hardware mixes and why I really like them is because first of all, I have a lot of inputs and I can connect everything. With my setup, I can play my stuff, my keyboards, I could add some effects, I can play without latency, and I can straight record into the DAW because the mixers are obviously connected to my audio interface and it is recording the signal just there. The point is, I'm just not doing the monitoring through software, I'm doing the monitoring through the mixers. And you know, the mixers, they have some special chips, let it be maybe FPGAs or whatever, that just do this job and nothing else. So I know this Yamaha mixer has a latency of 1.6 milliseconds. You can't hear this. And because of this nice world of being in a digital world, you can run or play audio from your DAW and play the keyboard and record into your DAW, but without recording the feedback from the computer. So when I play, I can play without latency. I can record the input without any latency into my DAW and just don't have any latency issues, but still can keep a big buffer size, right? I can still run all these effects and mastering plugins and whatever. And when I play a hardware synthesizer, I just can play it and it's in sync with what I have in the DAW. So think about this solution, like either you use the hardware mixer of your audio interface or you like to do this luxury version with the hardware mixer. It's not expensive really to get these ones cheap. This is 1990s technology no one wants to have right now, but it really solves this buffer size problem, you know, if you really want to record. Maybe some exceptions of this thing or this thought or the setup that I have. I understand that there are some plugins that you would like then to play around. But therefore, I mean, you can keep this out of your song. You can have a dedicated template or a song where you, just what I show you with my Mac Pro, where you can have a low buffer size and then play with the effects that you have in your DAW. That's totally fine, that's true. But I just would like to give you some hints that I did not find in all the videos. And I hope that makes sense to you. And let me know what you think of my ideas or thoughts. And if you think that this totally doesn't make any sense or so, I'm happy that I could share with you my ideas. So thank you and talk to you soon. Bye.